Okay, so we very recently did a video on the 7 best players not nominated for the 2018 Ballon d'Or, so feel free to check that video out if you haven't already, and a number of you requested that we flip it on its head and take a look at some of the players who were maybe somewhat fortuitous to have been included. Now, the Ballon d'Or nominees are supposed to be a 30-man shortlist of the best footballers in the world over that calendar year. As such, every player on it is an extraordinarily talented footballer, and everyone had at least some exceptional form in 2018. So just to clarify, we are by no means critiquing any of the players here, just questioning whether they had a better 2018 than the players who feature in our best that missed out 7. Here are our 7 players who maybe didn't deserve to be nominated for the 2018 Ballon d'Or. Roberto Firmino. Going in order of those who have the best claim to make the shortlist to those with the least, we begin with Roberto Firmino, who is a player we like a lot. A centre forward with a terrific work rate, Firmino obviously made the shortlist due to his form in the Champions League, which is weighted incredibly heavily when it comes to the Ballon d'Or. The Brazilian bagged 11 goals in 15 games in the competition as Liverpool reached the final, but a tally of 15 in 37 in the Premier League wasn't exactly Golden Boot material, with the likes of Romelu Lukaku, Raheem Sterling and Jamie Vardy all scoring more. Granted, Firmino's game is about much more than goals, but we question whether he had a better 2018 than fellow centre-forwards like Robert Lewandowski and Ciro Immobile. Mario Mandzukic. Another centre-forward who brings a lot more to a team than goals is Mario Mandzukic, and trust us when we say we are all too aware of that. Mandzukic is a brilliant team player who often pops up with a goal when his team need him most, as he proved at the World Cup against England. However, we just feel as though Croatia's run to the World Cup final, and the fact he scored a few in the Champions League, have been weighted a tad heavily. Despite the fact that he spent a fair amount of time out on the left wing last season, a tally of only 5 Serie A goals is pretty miserly. He's only 1 goal off tying that already this season, to be fair, and we just feel the aforementioned duo, or even the likes of Mauro Icardi and his Juve teammate Paulo Dybala, were just as worthy candidates in attacking areas over the entirety of 2018. Thibaut Courtois. There was a weird wave of comments on this channel following the World Cup, stating that Thibaut Courtois was the best goalkeeper in the world. He may well have been the best goalkeeper at the World Cup, indeed he did win the Golden Glove, but standing out in a single month-long tournament does not automatically make him the best goalkeeper in the world. Jordan Pickford had a better World Cup than Manuel Neuer, but you'd get a few queer looks if you went around stating that Pickford was better than Neuer. Or at least I hope you would. Courtois is undoubtedly a good goalkeeper, but was he among the 4 best goalkeepers in the world in 2018? We don't think so, and it speaks volumes that Chelsea fans weren't too disheartened to see him go, and the early suggestions being that Kepa will be a more than capable replacement. Both Marc-Andre ter Stegen and David De Gea were far better than Courtois in 2018. Sadio Mane. The second of Liverpool's brilliant front 3 to make this 7, don't worry, Mohamed Salah isn't still to come. Mane is obviously a brilliant footballer, although we think he still has the potential to improve, and he had a very good 2018. The Senegal star had his second best ever campaign in terms of goal scoring in 2017-18, and once again, Liverpool's run to the Champions League final has obviously seen him favoured. However, take a look at his combined goals and assists for the campaign for such an attacking player, and you have to ask 1 or 2 questions. On that front, Mane had a combined total of 17 in the Premier League, the same number as Marko Arnautovic and Alvaro Morata, and fewer than the likes of Alexander Lacazette and Son Heung-min, neither of whom most people would say have particularly exceptional campaigns. In fact, compare his tally of 17 to Raheem Sterling's total of 29, and it's pretty clear that Mane is only in there due to Liverpool's Champions League run. Hugo Lloris. Pretty similarly to Thibaut Courtois, we think Hugo Lloris' selection above the likes of De Gea and ter Stegen is even more unjustified. The Frenchman is unquestionably a very good goalkeeper, but 2018 really wasn't his best year. His 2017-18 campaign was certainly among his poorest seasons since joining Tottenham in 2012, and even at the World Cup, which is clearly why he has been nominated, there were at least 3 or 4 more impressive goalkeepers. So Lloris' inclusion is a bit of a funny one, and we can't see him getting too many votes in the final stage. Karim Benzema. Probably the most criticised of all the 2018 Ballon d'Or nominees, you have probably seen posts doing the rounds showing that Glenn Murray has scored more goals than Karim Benzema in 2018. Now, we're often ones to stick up for Benzema. He has done a very good job for Real Madrid in Cristiano Ronaldo's shadow for the last 9 years, and we're big fans of his hold-up play, footballing intelligence, and close control. With that being said, has he been among the best 30 footballers in the world in 2018? We don't think so, We've already mentioned a few forwards who we feel would have been better candidates for the shortlist, and we think Benzema is probably the second most fortuitous to have featured. Paul Pogba. Now, I'm well aware that this is going to be a controversial choice, but hear me out. Paul Pogba had a good World Cup. I repeat, a good World Cup. He didn't have a great World Cup. Let's not pretend we're talking about Maradona in '86. He got 1 goal, no assists, and played some nice stuff in the middle of the park. I'd argue that there were at least 3 or 4 more impressive players in that French side, his midfield partner N'Golo Kante for a start. That's not Pogba bashing, the Frenchman obviously has a great deal of class about him on a football pitch. We just don't believe he showed enough of that class in 2018 to rank among the world's 30 best players, whilst the likes of David Silva and Toni Kroos missed out. Pogba has basically spent the entire year under a cloud at Manchester United, never showing consistently top class form and constantly being linked with moves away. No one in their right mind would suggest that he was better than David Silva or even Fernandinho in the Premier League last season, so his inclusion is based purely on his form at the World Cup, which, as we've established, we think has probably been a little bit overdone. So that's it for our 7. Thanks for watching, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for more from us if you enjoyed the video, and you can now also follow us on Twitter for more ramblings from me. Our username is simply @HITC Sevens.